Good morning. My name is Tammy, and I'd like to welcome you to Tammy's Stitches. Greetings from Maine, everybody. Um, Today is December 5th, and just leave that there for now. And this is FlossTube number 119. So, I hope everybody had a very productive stitchy week. I sort of did. Finally, I believe all the stuff with this car business is done. Yes. We picked up our new used car yesterday. It cost the same amount as the insurance payout was, so it was just like an even trade. So yeah, we got that. And since they pretty much thought our car we had before that hit the deer, it was a total loss. So we ended up having to get a new one. And for some reason, vehicles and my husband, whether we're in them, we're driving them, or we're buying them, is a bone of contention. And I don't want that. So I'm just glad it's done. It's over with. And we can move on. So that was my life update. So let's get started, shall we? I do have a small finish. This is a mini ornament. It's not perfect. This is Ho Ho Ho. I made this one last year and I gave it away, and this is big enough, I believe, for a artist trading card. So we'll see what I do with that. Okay. So, let's get on with the whips, shall we? Okay. Okay. This one I started. I may have to revamp my friends, my FlossTube friends for right now. I don't even know if I'm still going to do it. I don't know. I might think about it. Unfortunately, a couple of them may have decided, I know one definitely decided that she wasn't going to be able to do a FlossTube. I think she can, but it's not going to be on the regular, so she let me know. And I was like, okay, no problem, but I'm still going to work on hers at least once a week, or at least try, maybe once a month, I don't know. And then there was another one who may be bowing out of FlossTube altogether, only because she's very stressed, and she's got a lot going on, so I might just work on hers sporadically. But this one is for the lovely Kay, the Stushy Pfeiffer, and this is from Zanna Crosswell, and it is called the Celtic Owl. Now the reason that I chose this one for the lovely Kay is because she is from Scotland, and she has started the Celtic Unicorn, I believe. She started it on the 30th, which is I think St. Andrew's Day or something like that. I really don't know. So this is, so I started this on Sunday too, so the 30th. So yeah, And I got 240 stitches in this. And this is called The Celtic Owl by Zanna Crosswell. I started it, November 29th. I'm doing it on a 25 count 1/1 using the called for floss, and my goal is 5,000. Now this has 122,500 stitches, and I had a drop in the bucket by 240, and this is 0.20%. So and I'm using one of these little parking bobbins, and I only have, I think, 2 colors on it because I know these 2 colors are in the next they're going down this way, and that's as far as I've gotten. It's not a lot, but it is progress, and you can't finish if you don't start. So in January I will be working on this more, hopefully, whenever Kay decides to do her FlossTube updates, and possibly her Stitch with Me's. If not, and if she bows out too, then that's okay. I'll get it done eventually. Okay. And as you can see, I have my deck of halls done. This was number 1. This was the first one. And I started that on Monday, and I have not gotten to this one yet today. So I have a couple things that I need to do today. So that was Celtic Owl. The next thing I worked on, and this was my weekly focus, and I am very proud of myself for how this is coming out. I'm trying to trust it, but there's awful lot of light colors that I'm not liking, and I think I've got them all in the right spot. I'm not 100% sure. But there's not as much confetti as I thought there would be right now. And that might change. But I am in the left-hand corner. This is the Christmas Rooster. It's by Zanna Crosswell. And I started this on December 1st, 2025. I'm stitching it on a 25 count easy guide 1/1 using the called for DMC. My goal is 5,000. There is 70,000 left to complete, and I'm at 1.43%, and I got 1,000 even, and that's only because I did a couple of days over that I didn't mean to. So that brought me to 820. So today I only had to do 180 to even it out, and that's what I did. So I've been doing a lot of block stitching on this one, and then filling in as I go, and I've got quite a bit filled in, which makes me very happy. So there we are. So all of this, for the most part, is filled in. There's a couple ninja stitches here and there that I need to finish up, but I think it looks really nice. And I do believe that this right here is a snowflake. Yeah. I'm very proud of myself for this one. I thought it was going to be, um, a little bit, but it's not bad, and I'm gonna have to put it back in my storage container here because it's also on my bingo, my Deck the Halls bingo. And that mini ornament was for my Deck the Halls birthday sale. Deck the Halls December birthday sale. So I got 1,000 on that. And then the next thing was... No. I do have a picture for this one, I believe, if this is the right one. Yes. I printed one out, but I'm not gonna... I'll just use this one for now. It's not the best picture, please remember that, but it's the best I can do at this point in time. Okay. Now, the cake stands are from Stitching number 4 Seasons. So Stitching 4 Seasons. And they are on Etsy. And there we go. It's better than what it was. So this was a Deck the Halls bingo. And I started this on December 2nd, 2025. I'm using an 18 count dyed Ada that I did myself. I'm using called for floss. Now my goal is 2,716 stitches, and that's what I need to complete it. And I've done 200 so far, and I am at 7.36%. The color doesn't, oh, well, yeah, right about there. So, I got the cake stand to about here, and then I moved myself way up here so I could get the hat done. Got to fill in a little bit of white, and then I worked on the star. And hopefully next time I work on this, it'll be shelves or something. We shall see what we shall see. And I don't know if this is going to come out again this month. It's possible. Let's see. Oh. Okay, so those were my starts. And the cake stand was for Deck the Halls bingo. Alright. I will show that one last. Next is... this one got spun for the weekend, and I did work on it. And I must admit, I had a very good time with this one. And this is Plum Street Samplers Gobble Gob. There we go. And I worked over here. So this was for my Never Forget bingo when I started it. So I started this on November 20th, 2025. I'm using a 16 count Hokoko from Bestitch Me. I'm using the DMC conversion, but I replaced 301 with Colonial Copper. My goal is 2,500, and so far I have completed 400, so I'm down to 2,100 on my goal. that. Let's put this back here. Here we are. So I got the corn done. I don't think I have another leaf on here for the corn. Let's check. Nope. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going down down this way, as you can see. But that is that. And I'm definitely going to bring this out. I think this is also on my January for the Birds bingo. If it is, awesome. If not, I will definitely be putting it on another bingo, because I'm going to be trying to do theme bingos for the month of, for the year, for 2026. We'll see how they go. If I get bored with them, I get bored with them. If I don't, I don't. Okay. And then I was thinking about this one, and I said, you know what, Tammy, you need to pull it out. So I did. And I put in quite a few stitches on this one. In fact, I completed 2 colors, which made me very, very happy. And I might work on it again this weekend. I don't know. I find that having the Sweewee weekends are very, very helpful. Because then I get more than what I thought I would get done. So, spooky season. And this is by Lukovka Cross Stitch on Etsy. And I'm still working on the pumpkin stripe, which is right. Alright. So, what did I do, you ask? Alright, this is spooky season. I started it on October 9th, 2025. I'm using a 18 count fabric of the month from Forbidden Fiber Company. I'm using the call for DMC. My goal is 5,000 stitches, and out of 11,374, I've completed 1,600, and I am at 14.7%. So here we go. Yeah. So I finished this color here, and I finished this color here, and now I need to finish this color here. And then I think what I'm gonna do, I'm not sure yet, is I'm gonna move on to the next color, leave the void, move on to the next colors, leave the void, and so on, and then fill in the fun stuff later. So, get all the paint stripes out of the way. Do it that way. So I might work on this again this weekend. I am not a seasonal stitcher, so working on this is not a problem, considering how close it is to Christmas. So I got 305 stitches on that, and I don't know why I put that there, but whatever. Okay. Now, the next one. Oh, and trust me when I say I had a ball with this one. I thought I'd get bored with it. I'm not. I'm gonna have to double check my January and make sure I got Frank's Monster on there. I really thought I would be annoyed with this, but I'm not. I'm very impressed with myself for getting this done. Okay, so this is Frank's Monster by the artist is the Art Revivalist, and it was charted by Stitches So Beautiful. It's 250 by 250, and there is 100 colors, and I have yet to come across any black. So I started this on October 15th, 2025. I'm using a 25 count Easy Guide 1/1, and I'm using the called for DMC. Now my goal for this is 5,000 stitches. It has 62,500 stitches, and I have completed 1,440. I need to round it up. So I gotta do an extra 60 stitches somewhere. And this is 2.30%. That's what I'm thinking. And I did a lot of filling. In fact, quite a bit of filling. So here we go. I got this just about this whole side filled in. So I got the whole line of box number 1 filled in all the way down to here. And it's all blues. So then I decided I'd go up here and start filling it up here and then moving my way down. I'm loving this. I am literally loving this. And like I said, I figured I might get bored with it by now, but I haven't. And I'm very surprised at myself for that. Because normally, after I get so many stitches in, I don't want to work on it anymore. But, you know, for a while. And I take a break. But this one, doing 200 stitches once a month, I can handle that. So if I don't put it on my bingo, I'm still going to work on it. 200 stitches once a month. And we'll see how I do when I get to October 15th, 2026. Because then it'll be a year old. So we'll see. I might have my goal and then some. It's worth a shot. Alright. And then the next one I worked on was my Motif Monday stitch. And this one I got 207 stitches on. And here it is. This is Autumn Quaker, or Quaker Autumn by Jardin Prive. And I love these. And what I'm doing is I'm doing them all on 18 count. And I'm picking, except for the autumn one, I have the other 3 with variegated. So, I think. Maybe the winter one's not, but I don't remember. But this one has variegated thread. It's a silky. So, the Spring Quaker by Jardin Prive, I started on May 27th, 2025, stitching it on an 18 count Havisham, which is a cream color with purple accents. And I'm using Sulky 4020. My goal is 3,000 stitches, and I have completed 1,810. So and here we are. So I finished this motif here. I put these 2 small ones in. There's 2 more that go down. There's like there's 1, 2, and then I'm going to finish this one, and then there's another one on this side here. Right? Yeah. So I finished this motif here. I did these two. There's 2 that go down here. I gotta finish this one and then start on this one. And then once I get this one complete and everything that's around it, like the key and some of the flowers and all that, I'm gonna go back over here and work on the letters. And then I'm gonna tackle this one in the middle. So I will be working on this for the next few Mondays. Because I've brought back my motif Mondays, which means my seasonals or my samplers, because I have 2 wheels. I have a seasonal wheel and I have a sampler wheel. November I spun my sampler wheel. This time I spun my seasonal. So for January I will be spinning my sampler wheel again. And whatever's on there is going to be for Motif Monday. Unfortunately, I did not feel like working on my skull sampler, so that one's going to be put away for a while. I was like, no, I don't want to do it, because I don't want to put all that work in and find out I don't have enough fabric. So I'm going to have to double check that. If I have to take out what I did, I'll take it out. Maybe. So yeah. So France Monster, Spring Quaker, and then I spun for the fox. I spun for the fox. This is by Cottage Garden Samplings. It's Year in the Woods, #1. And he is just absolutely adorable. Yes, very cute. And okay, where's this card? This is the Fox Year in the Woods #1 by Cottage Garden Samplings. I started this on May 15th, 2025. Stitching it on an 18 count Dedham Rit dyed Aida that I did myself, and I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is 1500, and I might up that. And out of that goal, I have 747 stitches left to do, and I am at 1096. And here we are. I didn't iron this, but I worked on his face, so I have to finish up this side of his face, and then work on this side of his face. His nose is complete. Well, almost complete. Oh yeah, there's some white I've got to add. Yeah. And, after I finish his face, get his face done, I'm going to come over here and work the rest of the A-frame. And then I'm going to go back to the fox and work a little bit on him, and then do some trees and snowflakes, and then go back to the fox, trees and snowflakes, go back to the fox. Because I don't want to get all the fox done first, because then I won't want to do the trees and the snowflakes. So figure if I do a little fox and then trees and snowflakes, little fox, trees and snowflakes, I should be okay. And then the other ones that I'm doing this month are the swans and the reindeer. Sorry. I got 213 stitches done on that one. that one's going to go back in my little container here. And then oh, that's Gaia. Okay. Alright. And then the next one I worked on and was Rudolph peaking. And I didn't take a lot of credit for a lot of the stitches that were in there because they were all in there and then frogged out. So, and I didn't take them off the frog. I didn't, you know, do a little frog thing and take them out and re-put them in, because that always screws up my count. I don't know how that happens, but it does. Can't help it. So I'm not doing that anymore. But I did get 215 stitches, which evened everything up, which was nice. So, oh come on. Where are you? Ah, there you are. Alright. There he is. There's Rudolph peeking. And then, so, I worked on this yesterday, I think. Yes, yesterday. And this is Rudolph Peaking by Lutheran Arts. I started this on November 30th, 2024, so it's over a year old. I'm stitching on an 18 count Easy Guide Ada, which the Santa one is also going to be done with the same thing, using the called for DMC. Now my goal is 3,000. Now there is 12,400 stitches in this, and I have completed 3,300 stitches. So I got my goal and then some. So those 300 stitches are going to go to the next 3,000. So I need to get 6,000. I need to be at 6,000 to get another milestone or gold done. And I'm at 26.61%. So that's making me very happy. Granted, this is not a big one and it should be done by now, but it's not. So I've had to frog out quite a bit. But there we are. So I filled in this white, and then I worked down this way and up this way, and I did some more of this here, filled in some of this here, and I have to, you know, bring this over here and bring this one over here. But that's a lot of black, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I am working in this corner, which is going to be white. And then I might go up here and fill in the red and the other blue and fill in the white here, and then work my way down this way. I am definitely hauling this out again. Because on the weekends I pretty much just do Sweerie. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything. I mean, I spun for a couple of things, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I'm kind of on the fence because I like having my weekends open to do what I want. I mean, I still get my bingo done. That's the first thing I take care of. But I kind of like having the rest of the weekend just to do whatever I want. We'll see. Alright, and then that is that. And then we got snow on Tuesday. And I really didn't feel like, you know, starting anything new, doing a snow day stitch, anything like that. So, we also got a little snow yesterday. So I decided that I wanted to work on my Noel. And where it's already started, and I really should be getting some work on it, I decided that I was going to possibly, I don't know if I'm going to, but I might possibly turn this into my snow day stitch. No, that's not going. There we go. There it is. And I am working down here. I only got 120 stitches in this because I realized that I didn't go down far enough, and I have to frog some stuff out. That's okay. This is Noel by Box and Fox. I started this on November 1st, 2024. I'm stitching it on a 18 count easy guide Ada. I'm using the Cottage DMC. Now, my goal is 4,000 stitches on this, and there is 16,720 stitches to complete it, and I have completed 2,366. So I really need to do some evening up here. And I am at 14.15% complete. And here I am. So this has to come out right here, and then this has to go down one more line. And you really can't see much with that dark blue because there is some dark teal in here. So yeah, here it is. So I might work on this weekend. I don't know if we're getting any more snow. If we are, awesome. If not, meh. But in the winter I hibernate anyway, so I'm going to keep this in my storage container over here because this is also on my bingo. So yeah. So that is everything that I did, and I think I did pretty good because I got a small finish, and I started 3 new things, and oh, there's one more thing that I did not, and this is my finish. So today's Friday, so this I worked on last Friday after I recorded, but I only got 169 stitches, and I have to frog out some on this one too. So where are we? Here we are. I don't have a picture for this one, but you're gonna get the gist. This is soft cookie, and I have to frog all this out. And maybe after I frog that out, I'll go down and work on the wiki. But I finished the word great, so yeah, I did do that. And this is Soft Wookie, and it's by Amy Lee. And I restarted this on May the 4th, 2025 for Star Wars Day. Do I want to keep it around for another start? No. I want to start something different on Star Wars Day. And I'm doing this on an 18 count silver moon, and I'm using the called for DMC. Now my goal is 1,000, and it's a paper pattern, so I'm not quite sure what I have. So I have completed 1,014 stitches. So I've got my goal and then some. Yeah. I did something wrong here. That's all I know. Whatever. So I've got 1,014 stitches completed. So I need to get another 2,000 or whatever. Need to get 2,000 stitches on this. So I think I'm going to spend my time after I walk my dog getting this taken out because it's way too small. And then I'm going to take it from there. And like I said, maybe I'll work on the Wookiee so I can bring him down, and then I can get the second Gur, because there's 3 girders. Second Gur in there, and then take from there. Yeah. Okay. So there's that one. And that will be every Friday until it's finished. And then I'll roll for another finish. I'm also going to try to work on Gaia, too. And try to get her finished. Because she only has, like, maybe 800 stitches left. A little less than 800 stitches left. So, there is that. Okay, next thing. This is my weekly focus for next week. 4 Seasons Winter. So this will be hopefully 1,000 stitches by Friday. Okay. 4 Seasons Winter by Soda Stitch Design. I started this on June 21st, 2025. And I'm using the called for DMC. My goal is 2,500 stitches. Out of 6,656, I have completed 822, and I am at 12.35% complete. And this is where I am. So I think I'm going to work on the boxes. Yeah, I think I'm going to work on the boxes. And then there is some red plaid. There's a stocking, there's a snowman, there is mittens. There's the word winter, which goes over here. There are cookies. There is a wreath that goes in this here. Finish up the Christmas tree. There is a Santa and a reindeer here. And then there are presents in a box down here. We got a candy cane, we got a fireplace. All the things that have to do with winter. And the fireplace reminds me of winter and Christmas, because in the house I grew up in, we had a fireplace that we had to stop using because the chimney wasn't good anymore. But I loved that fireplace. And when my daughter and I lived in that house for a little while before we met my husband, we always decorated the mantle. So, for Christmas. So there's that one. That's what I'm looking for. That goes in here. So that will be my weekly focus this week. And then my bingo call for today is Holly Branch with Berries, and this is from Goffin Designs. And I need to take out what I started, because either that or I need to start on a different fabric, because the green just doesn't cut it. This is Holly Branch by Goffin Designs. I started this on July 22nd, 2025. I'm using Boughs of Holly from the Forbidden Fiber Company, Fabric of the Month, and I'm using the called for DMC. I only got 34 stitches. This has 2,941 stitches to complete. And I'm not quite sure what color I'm using here, but it just I need to darken it up just a tad. Because that's way too light on this fabric. So, I mean, yeah, you can see it, but I want something a little bit darker. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just keep it as is. I don't know. Okay. So, that is it for what I am doing next week. Plus what I did this week. I really didn't do much else. And like I said, my, it looks like my FlossTube friends might be taking might not be happening at all. I don't know yet. We'll see. I might do it just because, you know, and, I'm hoping Siski changes her mind and starts recording again, but it's becoming too stressful for her, and I think everything that's going on with her daughter and her family, you know, I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, so I did spin for a couple of things. The Weekend Whip is the November Quaker. I could put 200 stitches in that, no problem. I still wouldn't finish that one motif, but I could do it. And then the full coverage is Huggable. QS Huggable, which is the little Horatio, the little dragon that has the cookies and whatnot. So I might do that. I don't know. And then New Starts is Witch and the Raven, and I am kind of Halloweened out, so I think I'm going to not do that. Well, it's not that I'm really Halloweened out, it's just I don't want to start anything right now. So I'm going to take a little time off on starting things, and just for the heck of it. Okay, and I'm having a really hard time deciding what I want to start, even with the wheel. So, I don't know. I do have a few acquisitions, actually I have more than a few stash enhancements. I bought this a while ago, and I was actually thinking about maybe doing something in here, but I'm not sure now. This is Emma Condon. Citrovia. And then Laura from Stitching by the Shore just finished this one, and I actually like it. I think I want to do it myself. So I think I'm going to do that. I might decide to get the called for or the specialty floss. They're both Gentle Arts. We have chamomile and maple syrup. And where I'm going to do this on 18 count, I only need one skein of both. So, I don't know, we'll see. And then we have the turkey, which is Year in the Woods number 5. I might already have this, I don't know. We'll see. If I do, it'll be a giveaway. And then I got this with a big order of thread, and I wanted this for something Christmassy. This is from the Heart Needle Art Quaker Bells. And I don't know if I'm going to start this year, or if what I'm going to try to do is possibly do, starting on December 1st next year, going till the 25th next year, 200 stitches a day. And see how far I get. I don't like doing mystery sales, so that will probably not be a good thing for me, but I do like, doing kind of adventy stitching. Well, I don't know. I don't ever want to do another of my own advent when I start 24 little projects or 25 little projects. Not gonna happen. So I figured this one, you know, just work 200 stitches a day for 25 days and see how far we get done. Sounds like a plan to me. Because I've been watching a lot of Flossmas, and I can't afford the advent calendars, and I'm not, you know, I don't want to, record for 10 minutes a day. No, I'm good. So I figure, write down how many. I have a calendar thing over there. Write down how many stitches I did every day and what I did at the end of the week. Just for giggles, I guess. Alright. Okay. So, I showed those. Yes, I showed those. I did not show these. Okay. Now, I got on Etsy. And I really shouldn't have gone on Etsy. But I found this. And this is a bookshelf. And I absolutely love it. It's a purple bookshelf. Don't remember the name of the company I got it from, but here it is. I think it might be 447 shades or something like that. And I like that one. And then I went to Stitches So Beautiful. Yeah. I got the Three Sisters. And then again, Stitches So Beautiful. The King. This one's small though. But still, these smalls are pretty big. But yeah, I got the King. Shame on me. And then Zanna, you're killing me, sweetheart. She had a sale. So, one of the first ones I bought from Zanna Crosswell was Fragile Thoughts. Then she comes out with a bunch of these other ones. So now I have Fancy Ladies. And Flowers. Oh, did not do that. Come on. So, this is Lavender Soul. Isn't that gorgeous? It is absolutely gorgeous. And then we got Hydrangea Soul. If she comes out with any more, I'm done. I'm telling you, I'm done. At least for right now. Oh, come on. And then we got Soft Awakening. And oh my god, look at all the purples. The purple, that's what got me, is everything is purple. And these were all, I think they were like $6.60 a piece. That's the kind of sale she was having. And then, this is Little Miss Peppermint, and it is so cute. I couldn't resist. I really couldn't. It was so cute. And none of these were the $4 ones. These were all the big ones. This is 400 by 400. Zanna, like I said, you're killing me, sweetheart. But yeah. I also got a couple others, but I gotta finish importing them. So I wasn't really feeling it the other day. So that's that. Okay. Well, one more small piece of life. I got a text from the driving teacher that in Maine, well, see, I grew up in New Hampshire, so in New Hampshire you didn't have to worry about having a driver's permit. You had to be a certain age. You took your driver's ed course. I didn't take mine until I was 16, going on 17. And I didn't get my license until after I was 17. Yeah. Because I ended up having an accident right before my 17th birthday. So, yeah, I spent my 17th birthday in the hospital because of that. And I just, I was born in December, as you know. So I had to wait another whole year to start school. So I was almost 6 when I started kindergarten. My daughter, she was born in September, so she was still 4 when she started. Because she turned 5 on the 13th of September. And we started school after Labor Day. She was still 4. She was one of the youngest people in her class. So now I got a call from the driving instructor. So in Maine, when they turn 15, they can take a course where they have to take the course and do the driving thing and get their permit. Once they get their permit, they need 70 hours of drive time. 10 of those hours need to be at night when it's dark out. So I'm sitting there going, oh my god, I don't know if I can do this, because when it comes to certain things, I am a control freak. And I'm going to try to drive with my daughter, but I'm going to take her to a parking lot at night for an hour. Hopefully I make it an hour. And we're going to take her in the truck. So what I'm going to try to do is keep calm. Yeah, right. I need some Valium for that. Try to keep calm, and we drive to a parking lot. And she tries to park the truck several times and back it up, and hopefully we don't hit anything, and the whole bit. So we're gonna try that. So other than that, I really don't have anything. So, oh yes, I do have something. I have been binging a couple people, and one of those people actually subscribed to my channel, and I was shocked, and I hope that it wasn't a joke, and I hope she meant it, and I'm pretty sure she did, because she seems like she's a very nice person. So Jessie Marie does stuff. Jessie, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it. I know you've been doing this for a very long time, longer than me. But thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. The other one is DM's Crafty Vortex. Her name is Dawn Marie. And we don't stitch the same things, really. But she lives in Maine, and so do I. So that's kind of our connection there. But that's okay if she doesn't stitch the same things I do. I haven't really watched her enough to know exactly what she stitches, but she stitches some like she did something for a friend of hers. She taught her twin daughters, how to stitch. Right now, where I am in the, because I usually start from number one all the way, and sorry, unless of course you're 200-300 things ahead of me, then I just pick one and go for it. That's what I've been doing with Jessie Marie. I'll go to her, one of her things, and just press, random. So, but DM Dawn Marie, she makes the most beautiful bags. She knits, she crochets, she diamond paints. She does it all. So, yeah. And the ones that I'm watching right now are 2020 during COVID with Dawn Marie. And then the other one that I kind of sort of started watching was Stitching with T, as in T-E-A and B. And her name is Barbara. She has the most soothing voice that, I mean, I thought Laura from Stitching by the Shore and Alara could put me to sleep. But this woman, Barbara, oh my god, and her knowledge of tea, and she always talks about her tea, and she does tasting. I mean, the woman is amazing. So if you're looking for somebody new to watch, if you don't already watch Jessie Marie and you've never heard of DM's Crafty Vortex or Stitching with T and B, I highly recommend them. So let's try that. Jessie Marie and I kind of have the same aesthetic for the most part. She's actually doing, or she has, I don't know if she's finished it or not, but she did have a horror alphabet, and I think it was from Good Morning Maui, and I thought that was kind of cool. They don't really look like they're not like the ones that I have, but we'll see. So hopefully you'll check those ladies out, and I will be back next Friday for another fun-filled episode. Yay! So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, wonderful stitchy week, and keep on stitching on, everybody. Bye.